Hey, what's up everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and today we are going to talk a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy #1. That is right, Guardians of the Galaxy has been rebooted of sorts, and this is what we have. We have the writing of Brian Michael Bendis, which is obviously a great thing for anyone involved, and we've got the rebirth of sorts of Peter Quill. So if you look on the right here, you can see the graphic novel for the Thanos Imperative, and that is when we last saw Peter Quill, if you don't count the .1. Spoiler alert, go ahead and fast forward about, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute or so if you haven't read the Thanos Imperative and you'd like to go back and read it. Thanos is obviously kind of like the central figure of the story. Nova, who is, by the way, one of my favorite characters, as I've mentioned on multiple occasions here on the channel, and Peter Quill, Star-Lord, they are battling what's called the Cancerverse. It's kind of like an alternate universe where a lot of the good guys are actually bad guys, and they're trying to take over, you know, this universe and all that crazy goodness and nonsense. And Thanos, in the end, needs to be stopped because he somehow ends up involved. That's a really terrible short version of the story, by the way. I'm just totally messing up there, but anyway, long story short, it ends with you know, the Cancerverse kind of collapsing around itself, and Nova and Peter, aka Star-Lord, kind of stuck there with him, having to make kind of like an executive decision. Do we take out Thanos once and for all, while, you know, kind of sacrificing ourselves, or do we you know, run for it and run the risk that he follows? So ultimately it ends with Nova, aka Rich Rider, the real Nova, and Star-Lord and Thanos being presumed dead. And as we know in comic books, nobody is ever dead forever. So needless to say, inexplicably, everybody is back, and they are looking to start off a new book here. So I've got these action figures of, you know, Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord and Drax the Destroyer, and this little itty-bitty version of Groot. These are obviously their original kind of get-ups. Not a whole lot has changed, but a little bit has. The Guardians here, as you can see, you've got Drax the Destroyer, you've got Gamora, you've got Rocket Raccoon, you've got Groot, and then of course Peter pointing in the background there, kind of looking like Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. Don't know what's going on with that. And then inexplicably in the middle we have Iron Man, which I don't quite understand why we need Iron Man in a Guardians of the Galaxy book as anything more than a cameo, much less the #1. Looks like they have him kind of tagging along, and I mean, to me it's a little insulting. I don't really know that, you know, we need Iron Man to sell books. It seems to me like, you know, Marvel fans should be smart enough to know that, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy is a pretty good book and something they want to check out. There's a Guardians movie coming out next year, and you know, that's enough to be intrigued, but I guess we got to throw Iron Man on the cover to try and sell some books. I don't know if that worked. I think people are genuinely excited for Guardians. I know I am. I'm certainly not an expert when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy. My exposure is through Nova, you know, Rich Rider, who is one of my favorite characters, as I've stated already once in this video and many times here on YouTube. Love Nova, love Rich Rider. I've pretty much bought every book that involves Rich Rider, in graphic novel format, I should say. I'm a graphic novel guy. I don't buy many single issues, but, you know, #1 for a book I think I'm going to like is one that I'm going to usually jump on. My exposure to Guardians of the Galaxy is through, you know, all the Novolog, you know, the Nova series, his individual books, through the Annihilation, through the War of Kings and Realm of Kings, and of course ending with the Thanos Imperative. I grew to really like these guys. Rocket Raccoon's pretty fun. Obviously, you know, I know he's getting pretty popular, and it's not just because he's a raccoon. He's legitimately a really cool character. Drax is pretty cool. I liked following him around with Cammy in some of the books. You know, I seem to remember him being dead recently too, and he's inexplicably back. I don't want to show this whole book, but there is some pretty cool stuff to see. I'm going to bring it back in focus here. Guardians of the Galaxy #1. Obviously, you've got their kind of new get-ups here. Iron Man's is not obviously my favorite. You know, Brian Michael Bendis, he's a really great writer, so everybody can pretty much expect good things here. It starts off pretty cool, little argument between Peter and his father, who is the king of his realm, universe, something like that. They're arguing. I don't want to do spoilers. I'm just going to kind of give you a brief glimpse of some of the art and some of what's going on here. You got Gladiator down there in the corner, some other random alien type looking guys, and there's two things that I really want to show you here. Number one, and I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on this. Right, there we go. Alright, I get updates on you, you know. I heard you took on Thanos. Something about something in the Cancerverse and all that. You dragged yourself back from the dead. So right off the bat, I don't know what page number this is, but right off the bat, I'm really happy that they address the fact that Peter is supposed to be dead and the fact that he's not. And I hope that means that Nova... let me take that back. Rich Rider is going to come back soon, because Thanos is already getting his own book, and I really don't see why we can't just get Rich Rider back. Both can exist, you know, him and Sam Alexander. I strongly dislike Sam Alexander, mostly because he's not Rich Rider. If they could just bring Rich Rider back at some point shortly here, and maybe they have huge things planned for him, which would be awesome, and I'll, you know, totally apologize, but like I just want some acknowledgement here. I want to know he's going to be, you know, coming back, that all of a sudden we're not just going to throw that one character away, even though all these other people that were dead in the same story are suddenly back. And I'm saying on this page mostly because of what you see down there in the bottom, which is the new Star-Lord helmet. And my oh my, am I disappointed. Not my favorite looking thing there. You know, here's Iron Man showing up. I do want to go ahead and flip through here to one other thing before, you know, we kind of wrap up. Here we have, I'll go ahead and put it all the way at the back. Let's see if I can get this to stand. Alright, bring it back into focus. There we have everybody in all their glory. Got Rocket Raccoon. Bring him into focus. There he is in his little Rocket Raccoon outfit. You got Drax in his little outfit. There's obviously, you know, matching pants and, you know, those stripy things going on for everybody. And then you got Gamora. You got Groot looking pretty dope. And now let's look at Star-Lord. There he is. So I can't help but look at that and think of Exo Manowar. I mean, the suit kind of looks a little bit like the suit from there. I'm okay with the color scheme and everything. I don't really understand why the others kind of match and he doesn't. You know, Rocket Raccoon and Drax look like they're wearing the same pants. the color scheme that they have is probably more in line with what I'd like to see from, Peter. I want to see some more red in there, but I'm not feeling the helmet. I'm not. I don't want to complain about much because I really, really, really enjoyed the book. 2 thumbs up, everything. But, like, my only complaint is the helmet. Let's see if I can get you a little bit closer there. Alright, and back into focus. There's a good shot of the... I mean, it looks like he's got a Band-Aid over his nose, or one of those, like, breathe right strips. So, I'm not feeling the helmet, but I don't want to harp on it, because everything else about the book is awesome. I do love it. I don't see the point of Iron Man being involved. I really don't. I mean, I'm sure that it's going to make sense in the story, but I would rather just see them allow this group of characters to earn themselves some new fans, because they do have their own movie coming out, and I think everybody would like to see them kind of be their own thing, not have to involve everybody else. And I'm sure that'll happen, and it's great that they're going to get this kind of fresh start for everybody to jump on board. I would think the book is doing well. I think it was the #1 book this week. I got it at Bedrock Comics in Framingham, Massachusetts. I happened to be driving by today, and I got their last one. So that's encouraging to see a book sell out like that. And, I'm really excited to see what they can keep doing. Again, I don't want to do too many spoilers, but the story is pretty cool. I do think I like where it's going. If you've read the Nova book, then you'll know that Gamora and Rocket Raccoon showed up on Earth to grab Sam Alexander, who, for better or worse, is Nova at the moment. So whatever. But so I have a feeling that we're gonna be seeing Sam Alexander infiltrate yet another book that I don't want him in pretty soon. So it is what it is. I had to restart the video there because for whatever reason it decided to stop recording, and I'm not quite sure why it's like totally super bright now, but it is. Yeah, that's much better. And yeah, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy #1. Definitely check it out. It's a good, solid book. I have a feeling it's only going to get better. And, I'm really excited to see where it goes. Star-Lord's a good character, a good lead character. And I think they've established a little bit of who everybody is. I would say Gamora has been the co-star so far, and Rocket Raccoon kind of comes in at the end, and they kind of show a cool little thing. I think with Groot, I don't want to give it away. A cool interaction that they have in a way. I don't want again give it away, but that was pretty cool. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me if you like this format here. I enjoy rambling about stuff that I love. Comic book reviews can be a little bit of a challenge because nobody wants to be spoiled if they haven't read it yet. I think this is really more open for discussion. I want to know what everybody else thinks of the new Guardians of the Galaxy book, especially if you're a longtime Guardians of the Galaxy fan. I mean, that's actually what I'm more interested in. How does this live up to your expectations, and what do you want to see going forward? I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see this guy right here, and I don't mean to cover up Rocket Raccoon or the book, but I want to see Rich Rider. I'm pretty stoked about this. My brother found it down in Florida and sent it up to me because I can't find it anywhere over here, but we have a certified Rich Rider sighting. Awesome figure to add to the collection. And anyway, he's not a Guardian of the Galaxy yet, but but I have a feeling he's going to be involved some way, somehow, soon, because I need an explanation as to whether or not he's alive before they launch the Thanos book. They've already acknowledged, hey, that happened, which, again, I would have been really, really upset right now, and it might have been like one thumb up, one thumb sideways if they didn't somehow address the fact that this dude, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, is supposed to be dead, or supposed to at least be presumed dead. Maybe when the Thanos book launches, we'll get a little bit of an explanation as to what happened to Rich Rider. I really hope that he isn't down and out, but we'll see. Again, thank you again for watching. I really appreciate everybody. I hope this was enjoyable. I hope this opens up some discussion. I'd love to talk to people about it. I enjoyed this one way more than I did Nova #1, which I, if you remember, possibly ripped up into a bunch of pieces because I'm not a big Sam Alexander fan. So, in any event, I am J Shockblast, signing off. Guardians of the Galaxy #1. We have our next big thing from Marvel Comics. Great book. Go buy it if you can find it. I hope it is sold out everywhere, and I hope they have to reprint it. And I can't wait for #2. So, we will catch you next time. Oh, actually, before I sign off, the rumor is that Batista, the wrestler, is going to be playing Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Tell me what you think of that, too. I don't know if I'm entirely sold on it. I mean, I know he's got the build and everything, but, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Hope you enjoyed. I hate the glare, but there we go. Guardians of the Galaxy #1.